Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of versions of fear in the movie, and it's layered. You know, the kind of the process of how we think about fear. Who's responsible? All right, must be the terrorists. You know, we immediately go to our most recent fears. Then it just keeps on remaining unknown, and the factors keep showing that it's not what we think. It's not what we think, and you want it to bloom into a bigger and bigger unknown. So that's going on one level. There's a personal thing that's happening in the movie, the fear of everyone not acting like themselves. What if everybody started behaving the reverse of themselves? Is a very scary idea. But there's one thing that I'm doing through the whole movie, which is isolating you, isolating the characters. So you start in big groups, then it gets to smaller groups and smaller groups, until there's just individuals. And then they get separated, and then you're alone, and you can't even talk to your wife.
Which is the character of the old woman? Which is which is the function of this character in the script?
You know, the idea, you know, is how scared we are of our neighbors. You know, that, you know, it's a little bit of that that kind of Hitchcockian thing that you're running from something, and then you end up in a room with something even scarier. You know, and so there's a little bit, you're trapped between the fears of strangers and then the fear of what's outside, and you don't know which way to go, and you kind of have to convince the stranger to not be panicked about you, and can't be panicked about the stranger. And so the irony of that we don't trust our neighbors anymore. And you know, also kind of if you had to evacuate an area and only 4 people stayed, you know, or a handful of people stayed, those people would be pretty extreme people, and then you would be stuck in a room with some pretty extreme people.
Why are you so interested in the unknown side of whatever?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just always intrigued me, raises my interest level when there's something open-ended and mysterious, and then your mind, what is the explanation of that, is a fun process.
I have gone several times to India, and India is a place and a culture that I love, and somehow for a moment I thought that maybe it's related with the passion for the ghost stories that comes from India. It's part of your original culture, this interest about the unknown? Or?
Yeah, I mean, you know, definitely. I just went to India and really sensed you know, a reliance on, you know, superstition and mystery and believing in things that we can't see. It really is part of my culture as well. So, you know, I live in the United States, but I was born in India. I definitely think the openness to the unknown in the Indian culture, the acceptance of it, that it's around us, is important.
Also in your films you play a lot with the concept of family. We have families in your films.
Yes.
Why did you like to so much to
I like dramas about families at the center of everything. That's what makes it important to me as an artist. You know, I'm making this ride, but it's also about the family dynamics, a dysfunctional family. How do we solve the problems with our daughters and our sons and our wives and our husbands? And if you are faced with life and death situations, what would emerge? What truths would emerge within our dynamics? You know, I'm always thinking of, you know, big events that surround a family event.
This film is going to be released in the summer, which is one of the high seasons of the year. This is good or bad for the movie? This is important or not?
It's good because it's you know, it was intended to be a paranoia ride. It was intended to be very entertaining and very scary experience. 90 minutes of paranoia, and it's a fun time because it has its serious side should be after. It should be only when you go home and you open the fridge and you're going, you know, after you've been through the fun and the ride of it all, and your wife or your girlfriend's holding on to you so tight, and you're like, let go of my hand. It should be after that, and the seriousness hits you, and so it has that balance of a summer movie.
Really, but I don't feel very much. I don't see very much the connection with the summer.
Oh,
because these things could happen also. I don't know, in winter, but
yeah.
I need to get this sensation of out of a movie.
Oh, really? To be in the winter, but it's outdoors. It was shot in the summer. The movie takes place in the summer.
This is a good reason. Okay, and about the plot, there is some scientist basis on the script. I mean, something like that could eventually happen. That
Yes.
plants.
Yes.
Us.
Yeah, there's all kinds of evidence of them working as a system, that they communicate with each other, that if one side of a cotton plant field is getting attacked by insects and things, they actually send a chemical to the other side of the field, letting them know that they're going to be attacked in the future. They're letting them know this, and then they send out in turn a chemical that draws predators for these bugs. And so it's like an incredible system of communication that goes on far beyond what we think is capable. There's all kinds of stuff. Even last week there was a story of a lake where the water has filled with toxins in it, neurotoxins that the plankton is putting out. Very interesting stuff.
Something that I have also liked of the movie is the sense that maybe you are sending us a message about the global warming. I don't know, because
yeah,
something like that in the film, or
yeah, for sure. There's a feeling of guilt that's being tweaked about why is this happening to us? Why? If this biblical thing is happening, do we deserve it? Are we going to be able to get out of this? That kind of feeling. Yeah, definitely, it's there.
And this is not a film of special effects. Special effects are not the star of the film. Did you want it like this? Because usually your film play with mystery, but not really play with FX.
Yes.
Maybe in science, but not
Yes.
really too much.
Yeah. That's not my main storytelling tool, for sure. I love quiet suspense. I like to use sound effects as my special effects. Any effects that we do, I try to do them practically as much as I can. It's old school filmmaking. I like to make films that are from the 50s, 60s.
Yeah, this is something that I wanted to ask you, because the heroes of your film usually are everyday people that has to face something extraordinary, which is also very common in, Hitchcock films. For
Yeah.
instance. So which are your references?
Yeah.
From which director have you learned more?
Oh man, I've learned from all of these great directors, for sure. But yeah, the Hitchcock style has affected me a lot. It has affected me a lot. I like the fact that in The Happening, Mark plays just a high school science teacher, not the greatest scientist who's going to solve something. No, he's not going to solve anything. He's just trying to survive. That's all he's going to do. All he has is this limited knowledge of science as a science teacher in high school.
And last question. Your books, your film has reminded me a lot a book, and I just wondered, it has nothing to do with the story, but somehow The Day of the Triffids. Did you know the books, and if you have this book in mind somehow? Because the story is not definitely the same.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
No.
There is some kind of connection.
I haven't read that book.
No.
No, I will though.
You have to.
I will, for sure.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Because they did a movie back in the 60s.
Yeah.
It was terrible thing. You